Welcome to the Single H Show presents Transparency. My name is Joseph Mills, and as it is a holiday weekend, we are going to do something fun for the holidays. We probably should have made this podcast last Saturday to prepare you for some of those Thanksgiving conversations you really didn't want to have. But we're going to prepare you for Christmas a little bit as we move into the Thanksgiving weekend. This week has been a lot of TikTok and Instagram reels that have spotlighted some of the frustrating conversations that happen during the holidays, all of the political rants and gender questioning and what have you. And this is something that we really don't look forward to in the holidays at Transcendent Media. I know it's something specifically that Single H deals with quite a bit. Single H will return next week, I promise. But we're just, we're looking towards the holidays, and I wanted to share some of these videos because they ingest, deal with things that we very seriously deal with. The holidays is a family time, and families, for one reason or another, whether or not that it just be that they are legitimately jackasses, or unknowingly want to try to save their loved ones, they cause a lot of hurt in conversations during holiday dinners. And it's the questions that are asked, it's the misgendering that takes place, it's the dead naming that takes place, and the places that should be the most comfort become the battlefields that we deal with a lot of hurt and just discomfort in. So I'm going to go ahead and take a break. I'm going to share one of these videos, and we'll come back in and talk about how to deal with the battlefields that are holiday gatherings as an LGBTQIA plus sibling.
Leslie Jones will come to your house and politely interject when the conversation becomes political.
I'm just thankful that Roe v. Wade was finally overturned.
That's the conversation you want to start right now at this table while everybody's happy during Thanksgiving. While we trying to be happy. You know what? Have some dry-ass turkey and shut the up.
It's insane.
The way I see it is your generation are all a bunch of lazy socialists.
Who is you calling lazy? You can't even bring proper pie to Thanksgiving. And stop kissing the kids in the mouth. That's nasty. They don't like that.
Plus, Leslie can help prevent annoying conversations before they even begin.
Try that MAGA shit. Try it. And I'll tell everybody in this room that you use Nana's Wi-Fi to jack off.
And if that doesn't work, Leslie goes back to basics.
I'll just say, these transgender people. I just.
Can I have some second?
I feel.
So again, just some levels of jest, but also within this, there's realities within the jest. You know, every good joke is laced in reality. I can't say that I've personally dealt with any of these growing up through my childhood, but I have seen Single H deal with this in different ways through his maturing. You know, I have seen through different places, holiday gatherings, what have you, the misgendering, the misnaming. And it's one thing to say that individuals are trying and you should give them a break as they try, but it's really easy for a person outside of the situation to say such things when it's not their journey. You know, I've been working really hard for Single H to get his name and gender changed on my insurance, and it has just been a real headache. We have finished all the paperwork. The birth certificate's changed. The Social Security card has changed. His real ID has his name and his gender marker on it. But now we still have these places where this misnaming and this misgendering takes place. It's every time that he walks in for medical care that we have to deal with the misnaming. And, so that happens in the real world. It happens because of forced statements by school board members that make schools to have different policies, and dead naming, dead gendering definitely remains within that framework. And it's really frustrating that to watch Single H deal with this in the real world, the one place that he shouldn't deal with it is at the dinner table at a holiday event. So it's one of the things that we process, and it's not, it happens in the real world. It happens at holiday events at our worship center, and even with our worship center working as hard as they possibly can to be an affirming place, there's still the random voices that are poking around that makes that environment very uncomfortable. And with it being uncomfortable for Single H, it becomes uncomfortable for me. And to try to have discussions over certain realities where you're already uncomfortable, those places become arguments. Probably no greater place in the world to deal with an argument is at a holiday dinner table, and they begin to share these things. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about LGBTQ issues at the holiday time. But again, imagine saying you're not allowed to be who you are. We're not allowed to talk about who you are, so that we don't get called in an argument at a holiday gathering. That's the most painful thing that an individual can hear. Almost as painful as hearing people intentionally, unintentionally, what have you, using a dead name, intentionally, unintentionally using a birth gender marker when this individual has worked so hard to grow into the wholeness of their true self, and their true self doesn't match that gender marker. It's all sorts of frustrating moments that kind of swirl around each other. So we're going to take another break. We're going to hear another one of these funny TikToks, one of these funny reels, but we'll come back and talk about the reality of it all.
No, thank you, Uncle Mark. Try again with kind words, or we're going to take a break from this conversation. We use the names that people tell us, remember? No, they are telling you who they are. You just need to use your listening ears, friend. Did they give you trouble about your new hairline or your veneers or your LASIK? No. So you can mind your own body. Got it? You actually don't need to get it. Because it's not your job to be the gender police, silly goosey. Oh, that's an inside thought. Catch a bubble, please. No. They are who they are, and we are not going to pretend otherwise because you are uncomfortable. So why don't we do 2 minutes in the calm down corner? At this table, we are respectful. So if you cannot be respectful, it is time to take a break. Leave your course banquet, please.
So now I wanted to just add another moment of this too, another level to this whole conversation. The holidays, where that we see sort of a commercialized time of enjoyment and peace, sometimes the holidays are the hardest, most depressing moment of them all for some individuals. We can see this very clearly when an individual moves into the first of many holidays without a loved one that has always been there. We see this in the time that people are not feeling the joy and peace and excitement that is commercialized through these holiday seasons, and they begin to wonder what's wrong with them, that they feel this level of depression, this level of discomfort when everyone else is portraying identities of happiness and joy. You know, the holiday seasons are already bad because of different and varying levels of grieving. And then we have these moments that just add upon it. The dead naming, the dead gendering, the just making people question who they are for being who they are, and if that person is valid enough to be loved. You know, the holidays are already hard to have these other instances involved with it. Now, again, we kind of loop back to the narrative that we've been taught through our lives. If you can't say something good, don't say anything at all. It's better to live in a closet than to cause strife at a time of happiness and joy. But, you know, unfortunately, that's what adds to this prolonged journey of negativity, is by it not being addressed as it happens. So we kind of do reach into these places that we have to, sometimes we have to make a holiday gathering awkward, because the only minute that a person will hear what they're actually saying is the minute in which they're saying it. So instead of putting off it really hurt me when you used my dead name, it really hurt me when you don't refer to me within the wholeness of my true gender identity, is really painful, because the longer you put it off, people say, well, I assumed you like it, you didn't say anything, I assumed it was okay, so I kept doing it. Well, there's two sides that are wrong with that. One, just because a person doesn't say that they're hurting from a situation doesn't mean that they aren't. You have to reach out and check in with them when such things happen. And then two, there's this whole narrative that we've already confined our young people in cultural expectations, specifically with family gatherings. And we've already prohibited them from having a voice to defend themselves in such moments, because we've taught them, whether it's good or bad, you need to respect Uncle Mike. Whether it's good or bad, you need to respect Aunt Betty. And within all these things, it becomes this, we force individuals to stay in harmful places in the name of having a holly jolly holiday, period. Thinking about all these things, it really does become this prolonged hurt that individuals deal with. And within that prolonged hurt, it becomes, it's better for me not to be who I am, because I'm told not to defend who I am, than it is to even be involved in conversations and try to find a middle ground with individuals who visibly aren't trying to maintain a middle ground themselves. As we move into the holidays, I want you to think about the sort of the silly way that these conversations were presented, but even though they're silly, it doesn't mean that they're not true. And I want you to look at your nature, your ability, and I want you to process what it means just to have basic respect for another individual. You know, I made a jest of this earlier, but when people say, well, I didn't know that was hurting you, you didn't say anything, well, you also got to look and pay attention to the people that you're talking to. And if you can see that you are creating this painful environment because you are attacking them, it needs to stop. And within that, individuals have to be able to defend themselves and to speak out and make it so that these others understand, hey, you are hurting me. This is wrong. So as you go through this time of the holiday season, And as you deal with all of these things that we already wrestle with because of grown grieving, because of being in moments that are uncomfortable, because of being around others that make us uncomfortable, well, we need to know that self-advocacy is important. Self-allyship is important, because it's not a good excuse to say, well, they didn't know, they're from a different time. Well, they still live in this time, and they need to grow into the respect that is required within this time of living. As you all wrestle and journey through your holidays, know that you're not alone. There are others that are dealing with the same frustration and pains that you are feeling right now. And specifically at Transgender Media, Transcended Media, there's individuals that are rooting you on to make it through the holidays with happy, joy-filled memories. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for dealing with the two silly add-ins to this conversation. But may the peace of the Lord Jesus Christ be with you all through these holidays. And I mean that. I know provoking the name of Christ is kind of a awkward place at times for others, but I live within a progressive faith that I know that we are not completely alone. And whether we have our allies around us or a loving, understanding God that's around us all the time, there's hope and support that sits very clearly near us. So lean into that support. If you feel the stress of the holidays, know you're not alone. Know that I'm pulling for you. Know that Single H is pulling for you. And just may you find places of peace within frustration. That was the Single H Show presents Transparenting for this week. My name is Joseph Mills. Happy holidays.